Hey guys, RC here. We are going to do a tutorial series for Dwarf Fortress, and let me I just saved my Dwarf Fortress to my desktop, and I just start a new folder for each release of Lazy Newb Pack. So the easiest way to find that is just do a Google search for Lazy Newb Pack, Dwarf Fortress right there, and you actually want to go to the utility page. Actually, that is not what yeah, and then it's Paradexis Errants for Windows. They also have for Mac and Linux, but I use for Windows. And he always updates his first post with the latest patch or the latest release. So here's your directions, and we are on release 4305R08. Alright, so there are some older packs that people really liked. 3411 was really popular. So they still give that. The final 32-bit pack if you don't have a 64-bit computer. And then there's a thread that you can also find feedback and a post for change logs and everything else. But you just download it, use WinZip, and then you just copy it all into that folder. So I name the folder, and then inside of it I just post all the contents of the zip file, which should look like that. Now, there is one thing, the starter pack launcher, my virus scan flags it every time I get a new release of the new pack. So when that pops up, I just open it up and I restore it, and then and tell it to overlook it. It does not have a virus, but I guess because of this PYLNP, I don't know what that does, but my virus scan does not like that. But tons of people use Lazy Newb Pack, so there's not a virus in it. When you click on that, and then all the files are in here, but this opens up your window here, and this is where you configure your game options, the graphics pack you want to use, any utilities you want to use, other things that you can toggle, sound, FPS counter. Actually, I do like the FPS counter, and DF hack if you want that for what you want. Just hit play, and it will launch, and you can see all the windows here. These two windows, that window, Therapist, and SoundSense are all part of the options that I have triggered to launch. So that's how you actually install it. So again, you would just follow these directions, download it from here, just click right there, download it, open it, and then I just drag it into my folder here, and I keep everything for a little while. I can go back and delete some of these, but I've got typically keep about 4 or 5 releases in there, just in case I want to go back to anything, in case a glitch comes up and I need to go back without having to find it and reinstall it and things of that nature. So that is kind of in a nutshell. Now, if you're not even familiar with what Dwarf Fortress is, it is a let's go here. Bay 12 Games is the site that makes it. It's a free game, which is astounding for the playability of it. They have forums. There are multiple ways to play. You can play Fortress. You can play adventure mode. ugh. I don't know. My wife sent me a picture, and not. It was not of her, but anyway. So I wanted to get into basically a step-by-step of how to do things, and it'll be very basic stuff. So I'm going to the other thing I want you to pull up is once you get the game installed is the wiki, and it's dwarffortresswiki.org, and this is your main page right here, and this is what Dwarf Fortress looks like right there. Also, it gives you a lot of instructions, how to download the game, how to download and install, a tutorial for Fortress mode, which is basically what I'm going to be doing here. This is probably a little bit older. In fact, if we click on that, is that Captain Ducks? Alright, this is actually good information to pull that up and take a look at it. And this gives you all kind of information, how to do a world generation, choosing a good site, you know, so on and so forth, how to dump your garbage. So really everything that I'm going to cover is in this quick start guide, but a lot of people like to see it in action. So anyway, that is here, and the search bar, you can type anything in there that you find in the game. Honestly, probably the best wiki that I've ever seen for any game at all. As I mentioned, the game is free. They do take donations. The brothers that the Tarn brothers that update the game. It's been out for years, and they continually have updates regularly. So sometimes they're real small things, and sometimes they'll go from 43 to 44 to 45 for major changes to the game. But anyway, back to the game. So here is our start screen, and what we're going to want to do is create a new world. Now, you can create a new world, and it will use default generators that the game has, or you can design a new world with advanced parameters. So if you hit create new world, it will just start creating, and it will randomize a world, and you could get any number of different results, and that's great. If you've never played, I recommend starting that way. However, if you've been playing a while, you want to start messing around with the advanced parameters, we're going to start with that. You end up at the same place, so don't freak out. All right, I hit enter. Now it's going to say escape. You'll notice it says it is an alpha. Now, does that mean there's bugs? Yeah, sometimes, but honestly, when these things get released, each version, they're pretty solid. I mean, I don't know that, I've never had a game-breaking bug. There was a issue when they first came out with multiple height trees, that building a wall into the tree branches would crash the game. They may still have that. I just have gotten to the point where I'm used to clearing out an area where I'm building a wall, if that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to hit escape to continue, and here is our design. So the first thing is, here is what you're designing, and here are your options. Now, Daz Fantasyland, this is actually one that a YouTuber named Das Tactic had created, and I really liked it, so I stole it and put it into mine, and then I took that and I edited it with the advanced parameters with some things that another YouTuber named Marcus Aurelius had done. Now, Marcus recently announced his retirement from YouTube. Das Tactic is still putting out the videos for Dwarf Fortress and several other games, but I've had a hard time finding new Dwarf Fortress content, which is disappointing. Just a few people, myself included. So anyway, I'm just going to kind of pick that because I like it. Now, you notice from a large island is 257 by 257. That's squares. A large region, same thing. Medium, 129 by 129. Small is 65 by 65. Smaller is 33 by 33. And pocket is 17 by 17. So think 17, if you think of like graph paper with a grid on it, 17 squares across, 17 squares down. Each square is one zone on a map, and you're only going to play in one zone. Now, what this limits is world events, the size of the civilizations in that world. Naturally, in a 17 by 17 area, you're going to maybe have only your dwarven civilization, whereas in a larger area, you might have 3 or 4 dwarven civilizations, and then you might have 3 or 4 goblin civilizations, 2 different elven civilizations, you know. So that just affects kind of the surrounding events. Now, one thing about the game, historically, it has had a tendency to lag crash the longer you play and the more that you have going on. Now, it used to be said you had to play basically a pocket size if you were going to play any significant length of time. Now, as I said, I'm playing with a 129 by 129, and I have not really had any major issues, so to speak, with lag issues. Now, a lot of that may have to do that I didn't have my frame rate turned on right here, my FPS counter. So, you know, maybe I just didn't realize it, but you can usually tell. Basically, if you look at my cursor, in a normal speed, your dwarf moves this fast, and in an FPS lag, he's moving this fast, sometimes slower. So, whereas it may take 10 seconds at the beginning of your game, that may take 5 or 10 minutes to do the same distance later in the game. So just something to consider, especially taking into account your own computer that you're playing on. But anyway, I've had pretty good luck with this 129, so I'm going to select that. Now I've already got it set up, but let's go look at advanced parameters. So select the size. You will not have that as an option, so you'll pick pocket, small, medium, whatever. And then you're going to hit E for enter advanced parameters. Now, a seed is, if you're used to seeds, you can generate those. Somebody can send you a seed number, and they can, and you can copy their world, basically, if they know what it is. Embark points, that's how many individual places on the map that you can start at. And that should be 129 by 129, I'm thinking. End year, this is how many years before you start playing your game that you want the game to generate. The earlier that you have, the more ancient beasts you're going to have. Beasts that predate, come before year 0. As more time passes, that allows for more historical events, more people to die that are noteworthy or newsworthy, more of those prehistoric creatures to die, titans, things of that nature. A population cap, that's all of your civilizations combined on your map. Site caps after creation. And then these are, if more than 70 forgotten beasts die during the world gen, it will scrap that world and start again. The year to begin checking Mega Beast percentage, so I have it set to start in year 200. So we'll sim 200 years, and then we'll sim another 100 years past that. Do you want it to cull the unimportant historical figures? Yes or no? Minimum elevation. And again, all of this can be found in your wiki for World Gen. Go right here. And make sure you go to your current version. Sometimes it'll default to version 34. Just click on the new one, it'll bring you to the right page. And then here you go, your world size. Now this is what the map on the default world gen looks like. You just pick your size, your history, civilizations, sites, beast, savagery, mineral occurrence. Okay, and then you go and hit Y and it'll generate a world. Here's your number of forgotten beasts in the various size worlds. Number of civilizations, and these are the five civilizations that exist in Dwarf Fortress. Maximum number of sites. Let's see, very low site numbers. Only the home settlements may exist after a few years. And that means there's a better chance of your fortress becoming the mountain home and having the king move there, or have one of your dwarfs become the king. Yeah, that sounds good. Not always good with nobles. Savagery is how evil the world is. Mineral occurrence is how much ore there is for mining and working a blacksmith. And so this will walk you through everything dealing with that. Rainfall, if you want a very wet world, if you want a very dry world. 0 to 100 gives me a kind of a mixture. I'll have some desert, I'll have some tropical rainforest. Temperature, and you can make this blistering hot, blistering cold. Temperature variances, drainage for water. That will lead to zero drainage, means you'll have standing water, ponds, lakes. Maximum drainage means it'll be bone dry. Volcanism, this is magma. I don't mess with any of these, so I really don't know what those are. Your poles, you can have north or south, east or west, none. That's where your Arctic tundra area and your polar caps will be, where it's very cold and icy. Minimum mountain peak numbers, higher, lower. You can have a very mountainous area, a low mountainous area, just a few mountain ranges. All right, now this volcanism is the occurrence of magma on the map. Your minimum volcano number is how many volcanoes will actually appear in the world. So you could have magma under the ground that you can't see on a map, or you could have an actual caldera that you can actually see at the surface. So I'm wanting 12 in this world. Mineral scarcity, 0 to 100 to 100,000. I want a good bit of minerals, but not just super prevalent. You may want more. You may want none. Now you can also control that by what site you pick as well. So we'll look at that later. Titans, demons, vampires, evil cloud types. So you can see there's a lot of things that you can tweak and twist, and this is another one that this is the part that I actually took from God dog it, why am I forgetting his name? Marcus Aurelius. Sorry about that, Marcus, if you happen to see this. But it was the openness of your cavern layers. So I only want 2 cavern layers. The default is 3. And this is the openness. Typically it goes 0 to 100, 20 to 80. So these were some numbers that Marcus suggested to make a more open cavern rather than very convoluted with a lot of passages. We have at least 7 layers of cavern with water. We have a magma layer. That means every site on the map will have magma somewhere. You may have to dig all the way to the bottom of the map to get to it, but you can get there. All right. So anyway, that is the generation. Now, if you've changed that, then you have to save it, and it would give you an option in here. I think it's F6 or something to that nature. Let's see. I can actually. Well, all right. We're going to, but you have to save that. I'm just going to escape because I'm done. All right. And, oh, here it is. Save the world parameters. So you would escape to here, and then if you want to save those and go with them, you'd hit F6 or F1 to load those parameters. So that's where we're at, and so we're going to hit enter. And I don't want to save the changes, so I'm going to hit yes. And here's our world gen. So you can see that we have one continuous Pangea type continent. We've got this ocean on each side. We've got this inland lake here that has this spit of land going across. We've got this inland sea here that's surrounded but comes from off the map. We've got a mountain range here, and we just split up to the top. So here's that inland sea. Here's the rest of that ocean. We've got two small islands out here. Now the problem with islands is you are landlocked. Your caravans cannot get there. Do not play on islands, or it will be, well, it could be fun. It could be an additional challenge. Now you see these lines, these brown lines, these are roads that are developing as we're going. So we're 89 years into our generation. These blue areas, these are good areas. These purple areas are goblins. This little pie symbol that's purple is a dwarven fortress. Red is a desert. Yellow is elves. These little horseshoe Ankh symbols are dwarven cities. Blue is human. These light blue lines are streams or small rivers. The blue lines are bigger rivers, and then there are deep blue double lines that would symbolize a very large river, say like the Mississippi River in the United States. You can also see down here we have polar areas with ice. This little blue area here with the dashes, this is a tundra area. You can see this mountain area is full of dwarves. This one has a few dwarves in it, and this one has some right on the fringe. This one has dwarves throughout the woods. This is a wooded area, and I can tell that based on these J's and upward arrows. Those are trees. Now this area, this is going to be like grasslands over here, so they're right on the fringe of the forest, starting to encroach on the elves maybe. This is going to be a tundra area as well, but this is going to be more of an evil area. Anyway, purple is bad. Purple like a cloud or like this, that's your really bad area. And so we had this set for 300 years. Okay, now I don't want to wait that long, and I don't have the ability to pause, so I'm just going to hit enter or escape to pause finish. And it'll take a couple of minutes to maybe do that because it's cranking away on this generation. So there you go. So you see it stopped after 147, and here's our options. U, use the world as it is. C to continue, A to abort, movement keys to view. All right, so let's view a little bit. Well, actually, let's come back to that. So that's how we generate a world. In the next episode for the tutorial, we'll come back and we'll actually take a look at the map and kind of explain what is this that we're seeing. All right, so thank you guys for checking this out, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Take care. Bye.